Today is a beautiful day, isn't it? Let's see. Happy Sabbath. How are you? The last time I did it in Spanish and then I have better response. Feliz Sábado. What is this? What is this? You are becoming to be Hispanics? Somebody applauded. Easy, relax. No, Hispanics are good people, right? Awesome. Yeah, no, really. Happy Sabbath. I remember asking my wife one day, just testing the water, saying, "Do you love me?" And she said, "Yes, honey, I love you." And then I keep eating my breakfast because it was during breakfast. "Do you love me?" And she just turned around. "Okay, what is it now, right?" "I love you." Okay. And then I asked the third time, just biblically, trying to apply what Jesus did. "Do you love me?" And now she didn't answer. She was getting angry, disappointed. What is this thing? Why do you keep asking me, "Do you love me?" Right? It wasn't the same answer I was expecting. And the Bible text that we are going to be using today is going to be from John chapter 21, verses 15 to 17. And it's the story of Jesus asking that question to his disciples, to one of them, to Peter. So let me read the passage and then we're going to go through the whole thing of being there during that moment. So the story goes like this. The Bible says, when they had finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than this?" "Yes, Lord," he said. "You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my lambs." Again, Jesus said, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" He answered, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Take care of my sheep." Then 17, the third time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the third time, "Do you love me?" He said, "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." And that is the story. But this story is based on a moment in which, according to the Bible text, Jesus is already dead. All right? He's already gone. He's not with them. Jesus is dead. But Jesus resurrected. Now, I don't hear that. Yes, Jesus resurrected. But Jesus resurrected. You know, and that's the thing. I think sometimes we think about Jesus being just dead. And he died. Good, he died for us. He died for for our sins and all that kind of stuff. But we forget that he actually resurrected. And he is alive. So he resurrected. He was walking among people. And then he showed up at that moment by the water. And he was looking these disciples doing what they were doing 3 years ago. We was what? Fishing. And they were fishing, and they were probably good fishers. And he probably looked from far away early in the morning, and he looked them, and he helped them. And then they got excited, and then Jesus go by the water, by the sand, and he just prepares the fire. And that's breakfast. Early in the morning, they come, and they get together, and they have breakfast. And I mentioned to you the other day something about Mexican food, where this is the fish tacos that they had. Right? And I said this. Seems to be that the Bible is very Mexican sometimes. I'm not Mexican. I am Peruvian. But I'm saying the pita bread, that's tortillas. And the fish, the same thing you go and order to any restaurant. Can I have fish tacos? And early in the morning. So I never have fish tacos for breakfast. Probably I have to try that. Have you guys ever had fish tacos for breakfast? No, right? Have you? Is it good? Yeah. You haven't, have you? You're just supportive of the pastor. But they had probably the first fish tacos ever there, just eating, and they were eating probably that fresh catch and all of that. And he asked these questions. He asked these questions to the one person, as you remember, 3 chapters before, 18, he also answered he gave an answer totally different 3 times. And I want you to see this whole picture. Because at this moment, when you read this passage, when you try to find a little bit, when you try to go deeper into this passage, everybody starts going into where Jesus didn't mention, the word love is 2 different ones right there. The first 2 is about the agape love. The third one is about the friendship love, philos, that's the kind of love. And everybody starts analyzing that. And then they go into, First he said sheep, then lamb, and then what kind of thing you're going to be feeding. And we're going through all of that, which is good, but we forget about the moment. It's like me trying to tell you how much Jesus really loves you, and then you try to accomplish things for Jesus and tell you it's not about the things you have to do for him. It's about that he loves you that much, that he wants you to just take it all. And I'm here trying to tell you, what? By the way, for you to love Jesus, you have to give your tithe, you have to keep the Sabbath. It's not about that. It's about Jesus loving you the way you are right now. And it's about you believing if it's true or not. It's about you actually taking it all and saying like, wow, he really does love me. But what about this? Don't worry about that. Right now, I want you to think about love. The best way sometimes to talk about that is when we talk about relationships. Because loving Jesus is a relationship. Loving God is a relationship. It's not about things you have to do. It's about a relationship you have with the person you love. The willingness to do anything for the person you love. The willingness to believe anything for the person you love. I remember having out of one of the girlfriends. I had 7 girlfriends. Somebody said here, like, my wife had 8 boyfriends. I'm probably better even. But I remember having one of them, and I remember, when you are young, you have the little heart going everywhere. Everything is love. Whatever they do, like, and I can be telling the worst jokes around, and she's like, ah. She didn't laugh like that, but it sounds funny, huh? It sounds like a turkey. Yeah, close enough. And it's like, I could probably tell her, you know what? I love you. I will just do anything. I will bring the moon down. Ah, how cute. Really, you cannot bring the moon down? That's a lie. I will name one of the stars after you. You go online and you can name the stars after the person you love. Thousands of people do that and they make money out of that. That star, you cannot do that. But the person you love believes you because it's the relationship you are having. The one thing that you just, the one person that you have and you love so much that you believe everything and anything. Corinthians talks about something similar, just going really crazy there, like saying, love, you will believe anything, you will trust you, anything. And here we have Jesus coming to him, and as they are eating the fresh fish taco with nice, good homemade salsa putting right there, and then just probably having some beans boiling right there, putting maybe beans in not in the taco, probably, no, in the taco, no, it needs to be in a plate. So they're eating there together, grabbing the cheese, I don't know, the jalapeno. Andrew was probably just cutting jalapeno Jesus? Oh, I don't know. I'm just making up the story now, right? For you to be immersed in that moment. When you're hungry, you get immersed like, yes, wow, that's it. And Jesus pops the question, do you love me? Yes, Jesus, I love you. The fire going, the sea, the birds. They're ugly. That's it. And they grab more to eat, and then they go he's about to put the fish, the biblical taco there in the mouth, and Jesus pops the second time. Do you love me? And he's almost there. Jesus, yes, I love you. And he does it with an accent. I love you. And then he eats again, and they eating. Woo, 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 woo. The dog goes away. And then again they prepare another one. And when he's about to eat again, do you love me? Frustration comes to Peter. Not because he cannot eat when he's ready to, but because he asked 3 times. But he answers something very interesting. He says, Jesus, you know everything. You see, when you compare when he made the mistake of denying him 3 times, remember Jesus said to him, you're going to deny me. Oh, no. It's not going to happen. You know, I know me. I know I'm not going to deny you. And when it happened, it was like, I don't know him. Now, Peter is saying, you know everything. And you know that I love you. Boom! Somebody else. That's the point. Think. Boom! Think about that. Because that alone, that moment, the answers, the eating part, the communication, the talk that was happening at that moment brings you back a question that you have to answer. He comes and he asks you, do you love me? Jesus, you know what I'm going through, right? No. Do you love me? Just a yes or not. Just tell me, do you love me? Yes, I do. Dante, do you love me? Jesus, I do love you, but I'm busy, I'm preparing the sermon, I'm doing this thing, I have the black party. I do love you, you know that, right? Dante, do you love me? Jesus, you know my heart very well. You know who I am. You know that I have problems in my life. You know that I'm trying to do my best, but I get ignored. You know that I try my best and people don't pay attention to me and they keep giving me their backs. You know that I come to church just to eat sometimes, but I get pushed away. You know that I try my best. You know that I try to give the best worship, but sometimes my voice goes like, someplace there. You know that I try to keep the Sabbath, but yes, I cannot make it the way you want it. I fail many times. You know. Jesus, you know me very well inside. You see, he knows who you are. You see, I'm probably in your life and in my life, as we move along in life and I get to know Jesus, I get baptized, I'm so excited, like, yes, I'm a Christian, like myself. I got baptized when I was 19, and I thought I'm not going to be making any mistakes. Everything's going to be just perfect. Everything's going to move just right. And the next day, according to the church, I made my first sin. He knows you and me. And the problem is that we forget that he knows us so well. And he loves us so much. So much. How much? So much. That there is nothing you are going to do to keep him away from you. That nothing that you think is the worst thing in life that you ever have done is going to keep you away from Jesus. that nothing you are going to be able to do in the future is going to keep you away from Jesus because he loved you that much. And we forget that. So when we walk in life and we tremble and we break an ankle and life goes terrible and I have physical illness and my spiritual illness goes down and people keep talking about me bad and they just disappoint me and the church disappoint me and everybody else, human beings, even my dog disappoint me. We think, what am I doing? Why do I want to go back to church? Why do I want to be spending time with them? Right? And we walk away. I'm probably speaking to the choir, or maybe I'm speaking to those who are coming back. And we forget that the first time you met Jesus, when he called you for the first time, and this time, like the disciples, he was walking away and he chose you. He didn't ask who wants to be my disciples. He actually went and said, I want you and I want you and you to stop being fish for men, not for fish more. I want to teach what you are doing for something different that has a meaning in life. I have chose you. And we think because of the problems, like, no, there is no meaning. And by the way, his death. He came back to the sea to remind them who they are. He came back to the sea to eat those fish tacos, not because it was fresh catch, which I bet was just awesome. He came to remind them through that meal, to remind Peter that he has been called to do something great, even if he have made mistakes, as denying Jesus. And that makes a huge difference. You see, forget about everything else. Forget about lamb, sheep. I don't want you that. I don't want you to take you there. I want to take you the easy way. Think about the moment. Because you and me are living in that moment. And today, I want to eat with Jesus. I want him to ask me, do you love me? And I want to answer him, you know everything about me. I love you. Let me finish with this story. I like stories all the time. As a pastor, we are called to do many things because we love Jesus. Many times, people compare the life of a pastor with the life that they are living. It's like, Pastor, you get paid to do that, and I don't get paid to do that. But even so, working with people is a job for both of us. It's not for the pastors because they get here and you talk to people, right? You are here, you interact with people. You have relationships with people. You have friends here. And you are here and you find that many of those friends even left. And you're like, what am I doing here by myself? So let me tell you a sad story. There was a mom who was sick, dying out of cancer. She calls the pastor and she said to the pastor, can you come? And on the phone, she sounds very weak. The pastor said, are you all right? Yeah, please, can you come right now? I need to talk to you. He gets home. He talks to this mother. This lady says, Pastor, I'm dying out of cancer. I didn't want to say anything because I don't want people to know. And you respect that. I don't want people to know. But I want to tell you I'm dying. And the kind of cancer I have is a cancer that is going to finish my life in about, they say, 3 months. But I need your help. You want me to pray for you? You need maybe to be, you want me to bring the elders so we can do all the... No, I don't need that. I already know what I want. But I need you to do something for me. What is that? Anything. Tell me. Can you talk to my child? He's in the backyard playing. And I don't know how to explain to him that I'm not going to be here the next 3 months. Sure, I will do that. He goes out there to the backyard. He opens the door, the French door that they have. He goes outside, start looking for the child. And he keeps calling his name, and he cannot find it until he goes to the side of the house, and there he is playing with rocks. And he called him, and they sit down, and he mentioned to him, you know, your mom asked me to tell you that she's going on a long trip. She doesn't know when she's coming back, but he didn't know how to say it. She's going on a long trip. Why? He asked the little child. Just one of those things. She needs to go, but she want to make sure you know that she loves you. Okay, he walks away, runs away, and he keeps playing, and he just put his arms like that. Look at Pastor, I am an airplane. Less than 3 months later, somebody called to the pastor. We need you here in this house or so. And he's like, she's not calling me. He goes, he show up there. They open the door. And they take him to her room, where she's dying the last seconds, minutes of her life. She hardly opened her eyes. She looked at him. She said, barely you can hear, talk to the child. He goes to the backyard. The same thing he does, start looking for the kid, and he cannot find him. Before that, he was wondering how he's going to tell the kid the mom is going away. He finds this kid in a tree. And the kid was there in a tree with his pocket full of different dry leaves. And he couldn't understand the leaves idea. And tape in his hand. And he asked, what are you doing up there? I talked to my mom, he said. She said she's going to be leaving soon. And she said that she's going to be leaving when the leaves of the trees going to fall. Pastor, I'm here because he was taping each one of those leaves. I'm taping each one of them because I don't want my mom to go away. Because I love her. Do you love me? Said Jesus. I died. I'm not here. Do you love me? There's pain probably in your heart for whatever happens in you, in your life. It doesn't matter what it is. And you're probably trying to fix it by yourself. Do you love me? Do you love me? He's coming back. And he wants to find you here. He wants to have a meal with you. He wants to eat tacos with you. How will you answer to his question?